Hi everybody, Alexandria Hoff here. I am coming at you today from our wardrobe area of the DC Bureau. I figured I'd kind of change up the background since I think I did the White House one time, one of our pods, but you see the pods all the time. So we're here in our small wardrobe area where we can store some things. But thanks for tuning in. Today, the story I've been working on relates to the Department of Justice and a lawsuit that it filed against the Loudoun County School Board. If you've been with us for a couple years now, I think you're probably familiar, regardless of where you live in the country, with the Loudoun County School District that's out in Northern Virginia, really not that far from Washington, D.C. So this lawsuit, it pertains to a situation that unfolded in March. We've been covering it ever since. There were two boys, high school boys, and they were captured on video inside of their locker room at school, and they were voicing complaints over the fact that there was a transgender student also sharing that locker room space with them. This transgender student was the one filming the back and forth. It wasn't really back and forth. It was really just filming these male students talking about the fact that there was a female who identified as a male in the locker room, and that individual was the one filming the whole thing. So the DOJ is very unhappy with the way that the school board had dealt with that situation, because even though there was a policy that stated prohibited recording in a locker room because it's a changing area, intimate space, the student who filmed it was not in trouble. It was the two other students, the ones making the comments saying they were uncomfortable with a female being in the boys' locker room, that ended up getting penalized. That's because it violated that conduct, according to the district, said that it violated the very controversial 80-20 policy that the district has. That's the gender inclusive policy that, where gender identity overrides biological sex. Yeah, so the DOJ, they're filing this lawsuit saying that these students, they had Christian values, they were expressing their discomfort with sharing their space with a person of the opposite sex, and being penalized for that is actually a violation of their rights to religious expression. So the DOJ is saying that there's been a twisting up of whose priorities, who is prioritized, really. And they had made the statement in the release that was sent out yesterday from the Justice Department that your constitutional rights as an American are not left at the door when you enter a school building. So there's been, this has been going on for months now, because again, this incident happened in March. The state attorney general in Virginia, Jason Miyares, he got involved. There was a lawsuit filed from the families of these boys asking the school, hey, listen, they first of all felt there was not transparency in the investigation into the two boys. And they also felt it was just unfair that they felt uncomfortable that there was a biological female in their locker room. They should be allowed to say so. Yeah, so it's been going on for several months now. And Loudoun County, if you've been watching, it's one of those that was among the, I think it was 5 or 6 at the time, a couple months ago, that the Trump administration was suing for the fact that they had not adhered to the updated gender policies under the current administration, saying that you have to have sex-separate spaces and bathrooms and locker rooms. You had these school districts out in Northern Virginia saying, well, no, we're not going to do that. So this has been an ongoing fight now. I do want to make sure that we have Loudoun County's side represented in this. They have not commented on the DOJ's action, its lawsuit, but in previous filings, which is the only way we really know their side of the story, in previous filings said that video that came out showing the boys being disgruntled about having a female in the locker room, that the district says that was only one example of what they feel was ongoing harassment of this transgender student. Yeah, so it's a real world example of the conversation that's happening all around the country all the time when it comes to transgender policies, and specifically what kind of situations that creates for young people. If you have a school policy that says you can come and use whatever bathroom you want to, certainly kids will do so. But does that really set them up for situations that are uncomfortable, like this one undoubtedly is for everybody involved? Because for these boys who were making the complaints about the transgender person in their locker room, a Title IX investigation against a young boy, that could follow them their entire life. And that's the crux of all this. Under the Biden administration, to discrimination based on sex, that was often applied to people who were of the opposite sex and wanting to share the same space as females. So this whole idea of protecting female spaces, it's gotten complicated, as you all know, and I cover a lot of it. I try to do it with delicacy, but also with reality together, and I think that's able to be done. But this specific case, Department of Justice getting involved, so it's the big leagues. And Northern Virginia schools, they hardly stay out of the spotlight for long. I have another interesting school-related story I'm working on for tomorrow. I'll give you a little tease. It's already awkward for kids, sex ed, but really the kind of education you're receiving in that realm is dependent on your zip code. And some parents are not happy with decisions being made and the fact that they're not being looped in on it. So I'm working on something for that tomorrow. Guys, thanks for watching and coming into our glamorous wardrobe area. We always appreciate it, but keep the conversation going below, and we will chat again soon. Thanks, guys.